Disclaimer, I'm going to be using some of the same clips I used from my previous videos. This video is not really necessary for the background. I just created this video just to explain why debunking game theories video, so you can just click off and search up other things while you just hear my wonderful and beautiful voice. Alright, thank you for all for understanding, and if you don't, feel free to argue in the comments below. Anyways, thank you all, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I just want to add that he said the same thing about Sonic. I mean, he didn't really say Sonic is not a hero, but he kind of implied it with his videos of why Sonic is not faster than the speed of sound. He really tried to underrate or underrepresent or underdignify, or whatever word you choose to describe it, Sonic's speed. And he's doing the same thing with Spider-Man, except with his honor and his legacy. You know what? You guys get what I'm saying, alright? Alright, just return to the video now. Now, I've been recently watching the Game Theory's video on why Spider-Man is not a hero, and I gotta say, the video was utter crap. It was utter crap. Seriously, the video was poorly researched, there was no effort put into it. I'm sorry, Game Theory, but you deserve criticism for this. You deserve a lot of criticism. I don't hate you as a channel, but lately all of your theories have just been bullcrap. Like, come on, man. Put more effort into your videos. Put more effort. Come on. You are putting the valedictorian of your high school or whatever, middle school. I don't remember.
And
so come on. You're a smart guy. I know you're a smart guy, dude. Come on. Come on with better videos. I know you have a whole team behind you. If a guy who's just a casual player that just played the game can debunk you, then you know there's something wrong with your theories. Alright, if someone can debunk you that doesn't even know that much about Spider-Man, that doesn't read the comics or anything like that, that just strictly plays the game, then there's something wrong with your videos. Anyways, I'm gonna be debunking his theory on this, or his, it's not necessarily a theory, but it's really a video. Anyways, let me briefly discuss about what happens on during the games. So, casual thing, Spider-Man just does his daily thing. You know, he stops Wilson Fisk, and you know, and then after that, you know, the demons get released and they start to become a threat. And then later on, you know, we see other villains. The majority of the game, we just fight the demons. Alright. Anyways, later on in the story, we get to see the life of Peter Parker and Spider-Man. And we finally get to see, quote-unquote, the main villain, Dr. Octavius. I'll get onto that more. Alright. Anyways, Spider-Man fights Wilson Fisk, and he arrests him. And according to the game theory, this was a bad idea, considering the fact that arresting him, because the game theory agrees with Wilson Fisk. He kept everything under control. He's basically listening to a criminal. Oh my god. God, I gotta cool my head. I'll be back. Alright guys, so I cooled my head. I cut this part out. This is two separate clips pasted together. I don't know if you guys can recognize that. I don't think you can. Anyways. Yeah. So he says that him arresting Wilson Fisk was a bad idea because it releases the demons. So one terrorist group goes down, so another terrorist groups go away, so the other terrorist group was better? What? So let me get this straight. Spider-Man took out pretty much a terrorist leader. He pretty much took out a terrorist leader, and another terrorist leader comes. And so somehow that's a bad idea. First of all, Spider-Man wasn't aware that's gonna happen. And second of all, would it be better to have a terrorist group active or another terrorist group that's secretly working in the shadow, you know, doing a bunch of bad things? And besides, eventually the terrorist group are gonna come, and it's gonna make it even worse. Now Spider-Man has to deal with Wilson Fisk and the demons. So, are you telling me if you could take out a terrorist group, might as well, right? I mean, this taking out Wilson Fisk didn't stop his men or anything like that, but it did really weaken him. If you take out the leader of a group, it really weakens the group, and we could see that later on in the game, that the Wilson Fisk group essentially is done. There's no real worrying about them anymore, and now it's just the demons. Now the demons become more of a threat. But that's not Spider-Man's fault. I mean, a terrorist group comes that Spider-Man takes away another terrorist group and another one comes, and then Spider-Man just beats them up. Like, I don't see the problem. Let me put it to you like this. If you take out ISIS from the face of the map, and then another terrorist group comes to rise that becomes more powerful than ISIS, are you gonna be sad? Oh, why did we beat ISIS? We shouldn't have beaten ISIS. There's always gonna be bad guys. There's always gonna be bad guys. It's just Spider-Man trying to limit the amount of bad guys. He can't get rid of them, obviously, but he can try to limit the amount of bad guys there are. So what is he supposed to do? Let Wilson just run around, destroy the city? Like, look, if you could take out a terrorist group, if you could take out a bad guy, that's great. Take out the bad guy. That's not gonna stop the amount of bad guys there are in the world, but it's surely gonna make things better. The demons, they're there. What are you supposed to do? Like, Spider-Man didn't even know the demons existed until he took out Wilson Fisk. Spider-Man really is a hero, and then he did a lot more great things in the game too. Another thing I had to address about the game theory, they said it's Spider-Man's fault that Dr. Octavius became evil. I'm sorry, this one is even more stupid of a reason. What? How? What did Spider-Man do that made Dr. Octavius evil? Nothing. He's busy being Spider-Man, so he barely has time for his lab. He barely even gets paid for it. He should even be in the lab. He doesn't even get paid for it. Even Dr. Octavius himself says, "Oh, I don't deserve you. You're too good. I won't blame you if you go to another job." But Peter stayed with him. What's wrong with that? And Peter tried to help Dr. Octavius. He genuinely loves Dr. Octavius. It's Dr. Octavius' own fault that he activated the chip or his neural thing or whatever. He activated his arm, so he became evil. That's his own fault. It's not Spider-Man's fault at all. If he could have prevented it, he would have prevented it. But he didn't know Dr. Octavius would turn evil. Sorry, guys. This just pissed me off. This really does. Anyways, he also says Jameson is a hero just because he points out all the faults with Spider-Man. Although I would agree with this if this was real life. I would agree with it if it's real life. Because in real life, we wouldn't have Rhino, Scorpion, or any of these villains. If we just had random thugs in the street, and not to mention how incompetent the cops are in Spider-Man ps4. If you guys want me to make a video about how incompetent they are, leave it down in the comments below. But they are so incompetent. Alright, go back to the video now. I would agree with Jameson. Spider-Man would just have to just be a regular cop. You know, I mean, he could hide his powers or something. But this isn't the real world. This is a Spider-Man universe where Rhino, Scorpion, and all these other guys. The cops can't stop it. You see how useless the cops are in the games? They do nothing. They literally do nothing. They're so useless. The only useful cop I see is like Yuri. And even then, the only thing she's useful for is arresting the criminals. That's really it. Like, the cops are useless in the story. So I don't know where the hell he found the idea that, Spider-Man is so immature and all this garbage. Look, in the real world, that would make sense. But this isn't the real world, okay? Another point he made was the fact that Spider-Man threw dangerous weapons at thugs and criminals and all that. Two things. That's the player doing it. It's not canon. It's game mechanics. You can get through those fights without throwing motorcycles. It's not necessary. It's not necessary. Two, we see Spider-Man thugs that Spider-Man has taken out escape from prison, and they're just fine. None of them are bruised. Out of all the criminals all the thugs in the prison, don't you think one of them would have gone face to face with Spider-Man? But none of them are injured. Why? Because it's not canon. Spider-Man would never do something like that if he could do it. It's just game mechanics that's shown. Where Spider-Man throws it so lightly that it doesn't even hurt them. And Yuri never mentions, you threw them into a hospital. Not even Jameson ever mentions, the thugs he puts are in the hospital. So that idea makes no sense. It's just game mechanics, okay? Now, I can go on and on. There's other things in the video that I can debunk, but let me go through, let me show you this, or let me tell you this. Spider-Man, he is not perfect. He is not perfect. Yes, he has made mistakes in the games, and yes, some of Jameson's points are valid. Some, not all of them. Sometimes, most of the time he's crazy, but sometimes, on occasions, he is right. But that's counteracted by how much good Spider-Man does. The good outweighs the bad. And Spider-Man is not perfect. He's immature. He's human, but he's not a bad guy. Being immature and being a bad guy is completely different. And he's immature. He's not always immature. Sometimes he acts responsibly. Alright, so I think by the title of this video, you can tell who I really think the main villain of Spider-Man PS4 is. It's not Spider-Man. Let me tell you that much. It is not Spider-Man. The main villain isn't Dr. Octavius. It isn't Rhino. It isn't Lee. It isn't any of those characters. The main villain of this game is Norman Osborn. Think about it. All the bad things in the game is caused by him. Dr. Octavius became evil because he wanted to get his revenge on Norman. Lee became evil because he wanted to get his revenge on Norman. And Dr. Octavius was the reason why the bunch of criminals escaped, and the whole plot of the game even happened. He's the reason why Rhino escaped. He's the reason why everybody escaped. All of this connects back to Norman Osborn. The two main villain of the story is caused by Norman Osborn. And not to mention Sable. Sable is the one that corrupts people. They arrest people for no reason. They do this and that because they were hired by Norman. Almost everything in the game was caused by Norman. The only villain in the game that we fight that isn't caused by Norman, greed and indirectly caused by Norman at least, is Wilson Fisk. But even then, throughout the game, Wilson Fisk and his thugs just become irrelevant. So if Norman, if Norman didn't exist, then the whole plot of the game wouldn't happen. It would just be Wilson Fisk fighting, and then boom, it's done. Even Shocker worked for him. What does that say? Now, this is a brilliant move by Insomniac, I should say. They secretly, indirectly made Norman Osborn Spider-Man villain. They made it indirectly. We never fight him, but he's the main villain. That's the beauty of it. He's the reason why we go through all this trouble. That's the subtlety I like. Norman is the real villain of the story, which is nice. Maybe we get to see more of that in the sequel. Anyways, guys, I know this has been quite a bit of a rant. I hope you guys learned something, and I hope this isn't to throw hate at game theory, okay? I mean, to be honest, a lot of his theories are very easily debunked, and they have been debunked. And the fact that he has a team, and the fact that he has a team and they can be debunked so easily, it is a problem. But I'm not here to hate on game theory or anything. This is just tough criticism to him. Please, you have an entire team behind you. Train them. You actually made good theories yourself before you had a team or anything. You made good videos yourself. Please, don't rely on a team to do theories. Please, you yourself, please do the theory. Come on, I know you're a smart guy. You're a valedictorian of a school or something. You're a genius. Honestly, I know you're a smart guy. Please, just do your own theories. Don't make a team behind you. So, even if you get your theories wrong, people are not going to criticize you so much. They're going to be like, oh, there's just one guy. He's like us. He's just one guy. It can easily be debunked. Like, I don't have a team behind me to help me debunk your video. But yeah, I can debunk it by myself. That's a problem. Many people should reach out to me and help me debunk your video. But no, your video is just too easily debunked. Game theory, please. Come up with better theories. Stop making Five Nights at Freddy theories and come up with way better theories. Because your theories right now are just utter crap. Please, get your head back in the game. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time.